Hello, St. Lucia. Good morning, everyone. Thank you again for joining us on this morning. I'm Sheila Mendez, your host, and we are here at your leader, DBS. Today, our special guest, we have Peter Rudge, and he is a film producer as well as a professor over in the UK. Obviously, you know what he's going to be specializing with. So first of all, Peter, thank you so much for being here. How does it feel to be back in St. Lucia?
It's fantastic. It's lovely to be back. I think when I left the UK, it was very cold and very wet, and it's lovely to be here.
Great. Well, listen, we here in St. Lucia have been complaining about our heat, but I know you might have a better appreciation than we would right now.
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
Now, notice I told him welcome back because Peter is not a stranger to St. Lucia, and he has been very active as well. You all know Colin Wakes here, and he is very instrumental with our film movement, and Peter has also been involved with that. So, Peter, you know, since you've been here before, with the talent that you've interacted with so far, what do you think of our, up-and-coming filmmakers here?
Well, I was doing some workshops on Friday, as well as meeting other filmmakers the last couple of years that I've been here. I think what struck me is just the energy and the dynamism of the young filmmakers. And they might not necessarily have the training that some other filmmakers might have back in the UK, but what they bring to it is a real kind of passion and a real energy to it. And that's fantastic. That's great to work with, because you want people that are really committed to what they're doing, have a desire, to make something and to tell stories. So it's been wonderful to work with the filmmakers. It's been great fun.
Great. And you know what, recently, we just celebrated our independence, February 22nd,
Sure.
and there was the Independence Film Competition. Did you get a chance maybe to take a look at some of those films?
Yeah, we went on one evening, on Friday evening, I think it was, and saw those films, and that was fantastic. Yeah, we had a really good night seeing those films.
Good, and it's the same thing here because we've been airing some on our show, and your viewers, I definitely know you've seen some of these films, and we were blown away because even with the quality, majority of these films were of a quality that, not that I'm underestimating our filmmakers, but maybe they're just doing so well that it's blowing our expectations. So it's really nice to see some people are just self-trained as opposed to having formal training. So,
yeah. No, it was great. And I think what struck me was, without that formal training, they're still producing some really interesting work, and they're still able to bring a team together and bring actors together and make some great stories.
Nice. Now with that too, so St. Lucia can better understand your background. Where did, film begin for you?
I started off as a screenwriter. When I graduated, I went over to Los Angeles and worked in Hollywood for about 3 years as a screenwriter over there. Then came back to the UK, set my own company up and started making films. And it's kind of carried on ever since, 25 years or so.
Oh, all right, so definitely very well seasoned in the film industry.
Yes, unfortunately, yes, that makes me feel really old.
Great, well, you know what, too? Listen, we don't even watch age here, but you're in St. Lucia, so you're probably going to reduce some years anyways, just being on the island.
Definitely.
But being a professor as well, bringing that skills to up-and-coming filmmakers, how is that aspect for you? Because now you're actually teaching people.
I loved it. I absolutely love doing that. I think one of the things that's really important for you as a filmmaker is to keep your own energy levels up. And that's difficult as you kind of get older. You maybe find that difficult. But working with young people and seeing what they're doing is great for you personally, for your own work, but just being able to work with them, to see their enthusiasm and to pass on, some of the skills that you've had to them. I absolutely love the teaching aspect, and I think education is really important. It's hugely important, and film can be a really empowering tool for education, not just teaching people how to make movies, but engaging them in literature and in science and in engineering and technology and all the other skills that go around filmmaking.
So, and you're here for a special reason too, because right now we have the Caribbean Expo going on.
Yep.
So just tell us more about your involvement with the film aspect for that.
So we've been working with TIPA to do some workshops around the Expo. So on Friday I was delivering a couple of workshops and lectures with a group of filmmakers. That was fantastic. We looked at pitching, we looked at directing, we did a great kind of Q&A session. But being part of the Expo, I think that's really important. Seeing film and kind of moving image media as part of something like that is great for the visibility of what we're trying to do here. and working with people like Colin, who has so much kind of dedication and so much energy and enthusiasm for it, being able to be part of something bigger, something like the Caribbean Expo, is fantastic because it raises the profile of what we're trying to do.
That's true.
And it gets a lot of people to see the work that we're doing.
So before we wrap up, Peter, for anybody who's watching right now who has an interest in film in any form of sort, what would you want to share with them right now?
I think that the main thing I'd want to share is be passionate about what you do, be committed about what you do. Don't be worried by people saying you can't do it. Have that belief in yourself and have the belief that you can do this. Modern technology now means that we've got access to the skills and the technologies to do it. So I think I would just say, believe in what you're doing, have that passion and that commitment, and make that first step and go and make a movie.
All right, perfect. So with that said, you guys need to get out, get moving today, and go after what you want. And if it's film related, hey, you have the expert here right now, so come check them out at the expo, and we'll keep bringing you more. Peter, thank you very much for being here with us on this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Perfect. And St. Lucia, I hope you enjoyed that, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Good morning, St. Lucia. How are you feeling today? Thank you very much again for joining us. This morning is on, so it's always a good morning on this morning. And today our guest is Zandali, and she's representing Girls of a Feather. And this is a group that I stumbled across on social media, and it piqued my attention just because of the name. But she is a member of Girls of a Feather. They're doing a great thing here for our women, our young women, especially in St. Lucia. So Zandali, first of all, good morning, hon. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine, thanks.
Great. Now you see the sun came out even more. That's because it's just good vibes going on here. So tell us about Girls of a Feather and this movement.
Okay, so Girls of a Feather is a mentoring group for young girls between the ages of 13 to 17. And we've been in existence for about 2 years now. We've had 2 Christmas camps for girls during the Christmas vacation. And right now we're just starting off our after school program where we actually mentor them 4 times a month after school. Yes.
Great. Now with it too, what I really thought intrigued me is that a lot of the mentors are young women themselves, and I thought that was definitely something that stood out. So, how did the group come together?
Well, the group was started by Chelsea Foster, a colleague of mine. We went to school together, secondary school, and she asked me to come on board right before the first camp. So it's mainly run by women in their 20s. We have some mentors who are just, I guess, about 18, 19. And yeah, it's just a group of young women, mainly.
Great.
Yes.
Now, with it too, what sort of programs or maybe activities do you all do together, again, to help develop these young women?
Okay, so we do different activities, just, self-development stuff, different workshops. We do a lot of group outings just to keep the girls engaged. Our last outing was for Independence. We took them to the zip lining, and we had a barbecue and everything on Independence Day. That's one thing we always do every Independence. We have an activity. We have different workshops on things like menstruation, women's rights, and things just to keep the girls engaged.
So as we did mention, Zandali is a mentor, and for you, what really, first of all, made you say, okay, hey, when Chelsea called, yeah, no problem, I want to be a mentor? What, difference or what changed? What do you think you could have, not even could have, but what you can pass on to these young women?
Well, firstly, I think because of my age in relation to the girls, I remember distinctly how it was being a teenager their age, and I see the value in having positive role models, not just women who have, all grown up and they're accomplished and everything, but women who are probably still in the process of figuring things out themselves, but have a bit more guidance and a bit more insight than the average teenager and can help them along a little better. So that definitely motivated me and made me see that it was necessary to mentor and to provide a bit of guidance to those girls as well.
Good stuff. And you know what I like about it too, because hey, I'm youthful. And we'll throw it out there. But as young persons, just in general, they always still sometimes find you might have the coolest older folk or person, but they still find there's a disconnect because they feel like maybe they don't understand them well because of the age gap. So I think that's a really big difference that I think is a good thing with the group as well. Now, we've recently celebrated International Women's Day, and I know you guys are involved in some activities for that. So let us know what's happening so that way we can all get on board too.
Yes, so this Saturday, the 11th, we're actually partnering with Tech Lady Turville, who usually has her mentorship walk, which is where they pair you up with they pair up a mentor and a mentee, and you walk together and talk and get to know each other. I did it last year and it was wonderful. This year what we're doing is a 2-in-1 where we're also doing a Life in Leggings walk. So we're bringing the girls along in leggings and wearing their purple, and orange. And we have some of the girls making placards and signs, and we're going to walk with them and, at the ceremony talk a bit about the Life in Leggings movement so that, get the awareness out there about it.
So listen, the names alone are catchy enough, but you guys need to stay in the know. So we're kind of giving you this information. Make sure you follow Girls of a Feather. Remember, the walk is coming up, so you need to be part of that. We'll try to get some more info on that as well in details. And Zandalee, of course, for our young ladies who are watching and want to be part of Girls of a Feather, maybe even want to inquire, that's all it takes. You can just ask a question. Let them know how they can follow, how they can reach out, and of course, stay in touch with you guys.
Of course. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. On Facebook, it's Girls of a Feather. On Instagram, Girls of a Feather SLU. And on Twitter, it's the same thing, Girls of a Feather SLU. And you can also email us, girlsofafeatherslu@gmail.com.
All right, perfect. So it's really simple, very easy to remember. And again, ladies, we need to check for each other. We need to come together, no matter our age range. But again, if you want something that you can relate to more, then Girls of a Feather is right here. Zandalee is a mentor. She's super awesome. By the way, what she's wearing right here, she also made it. But that's for you to join Girls of a Feather and pick up some other skills from your mentor, okay? So thank you so much, Han.
Thank you.
And of course, we're going to bring you more, so make sure you stay tuned. St. Lucia, and wake up everybody. Special good morning to our ladies. Anybody watching, you better take special note of this interview, because our guest today, we have Dr. Gilbertha Santa-Rose, and she is a dermatologist as well as a herbalist, and we are at the Creative Health Center today because it's all about a women's health fair happening today. And of course, we're celebrating International Women's Day still. It's not only one day we need to choose, we can celebrate us being women any given day. So good morning, thank you for being here.
Yes, good morning. Yeah, thanks very much for coming, visiting our Creative Health Center. It's a pleasure to have you and all our ladies viewing and here. Happy International Women's Day. And like you say, every day is our day. We're at it every day.
That's right. And I love that. Now, Dr. Santa-Rose, I mean, most of you are familiar with her, and especially